Welcome to Success Superstars, episode number 211, your place for inspiration and the blueprint of success for peak performers just like you. And my special guest today, Kim Taylor.
Hey, how are you?
It's good to see you in person, live in the studio.
I know. I trekked out and there's ice on the road because I was like, dadgummit, I'm doing in person.
Yeah, you're a trooper. No Zoom for us.
No Zoom. Done with Zoom.
Yeah. Well, glad you're here. So how long have you been doing the real estate gig and why did you decide to start a team?
So I am in my 7th year.
Right.
And started a team. I had a small team of just one person quite a few years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago. And when he left, because my splits were too high, I was like devastated. So I kind of licked my wounds for a couple years. And then when I came to JPAR, you guys make it so easy for me to have my own team and run my team the way I want to. So it was kind of one of those things where I knew it was time. And I started my team, and it's just been the best thing I've ever done. Yeah. So,
and wasn't in a sense that first failure?
Yeah.
Didn't you learn then that it doesn't matter what the split is, it's all about value?
Yes.
Now you provide more value than the split, and that creates this culture that's amazing for you.
Yeah, totally. It's like with my team, one thing I really talk about and push all the time is, it's better together. Hashtag better together. I mean, yesterday, a couple of my team members and I went to a broker open house at a new community, and it's just so much more fun doing real estate with people and, right. Having just group text and being able to chat about life things and pray for each other. And right. That's what I love about a team. Yeah. So
better together.
Better together.
What do you love now? 7 years. What do you love about being in the real estate sales profession? What makes it exciting for you? What makes it a sense of satisfaction?
I'm very competitive. So
oh, yeah. I
love this competitive market. Now, it kind of makes you gulp a little, right?
Right.
But I love being able to help people, first of all. But that competitive side of just, what do I need to do to win this offer? Because I know I can win the offer.
Right.
Right? If my client is willing to trust me and listen, I can write a dang good offer. And with a little prayer.
A little prayer. and you got
little prayer.
Little divine intervention. And
little divine intervention. We can get it done. But, yeah, that's what I love about it.
So it's kind of like putting this puzzle together and then the winning.
Yeah.
It really gets you a sense of satisfaction.
It does.
Well, obviously you're part of the JPAR real estate family and that. What do you love about our culture and what we do?
I love that it just feels so much like a family. I feel like we have a team within a team. And that's what I love. Yeah. Y'all provide great tools. I love your heart for the agents. And I love y'all's vision for where we're going.
Right.
That's what I love about it.
Love it.
Because I get calls weekly to come to other places, and I'm like, I have no plans to leave JPAR.
Yeah, I know you get calls. It's so funny that I get all the calls in the Facebook post, Mark safe from whatever, It's very, very competitive, and yeah. We know that every day you have a choice where you can hang your shingle, right?
Yeah.
And you can hang it here or anywhere else you choose to, and we take that pretty seriously.
Yeah, there's a lot of choices out there. But...
A lot of choices. Well, if there was one tool, you mentioned tools earlier, if there was one tool that we took away and you no longer could have, what's the one tool you couldn't live without?
Well, you said a while ago, beside your cell phone.
Besides your iPhone.
That's kind of hard,
your
right?
Your Android.
One thing I signed up for the last couple of months was I've never really jumped into KV Core the way I was supposed to. But let me tell you, I signed up for Derek Taylor told me, he's like, if you've got a team, you need to do the KV Core team platform. So I was like, oh, I just don't want to commit to that monthly. But once you jump into it and do it, and then it formed the website. Because, I was looking at starting a website, right. And I was starting to look at, buying leads for the team and then trying to figure out lead routing. And it does all that for you.
All that does all. It's the most misunderstood major tool. That's
Yeah.
why we call it the core. It's the core.
I agree. And then now it's got all these other cool things that y'all have rolled out.
Yeah.
So my team and I are really trying to
Got it.
jump into this KV core thing and really understand it, because it's an animal. We call it the animal.
It's a beast.
It's a beast.
Yeah.
And I think once you can just start to kind of just tackle a little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So does that kind of answer your question?
It does, because, particularly whether you're a solo agent or a team, it's going to give you that foundation.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, and then we'll get into, I know I want to get some advice from you for the audience, but 7 years you've been doing this, you have lots of success, you're in the top 5% of all agents, which is a big deal. If you knew what you knew now and you had to go back and start over, what would you do differently?
I don't know that I'd do anything differently, because I've been really good about staying in front of my contacts and, working my sphere. I'm a people person, so that part's not hard. Thank God I've lived in the same place for 26 years, so the referrals come naturally. Right. So I'm very blessed in that sense. If I could go back and change anything, I would have done this 15 years ago when I wanted to do real estate, but fear kind of held me back, and it wasn't really the right time, with the kids and homeschooling. And 2009, we put them all in public school, and really I should have done it then. Mm-hmm. But I didn't.
What was the fear? Was it the fear of being on your own and earning your own income? And
I'm such a different person now than I was then, but it's kind of making me tear up a little bit, I guess. But, people just told me, oh, you have your own hours, but you're gone on nights and the weekends.
Oh.
You'll be away from your family. And I was like, we have 4 kids. And at the time, they were all very busy in sports. And I just was like, well, I don't want to do that. So I just didn't do it.
But now you figured out how to make all that
You
fit.
make your own schedule. I mean,
when you do more stuff, you're always doing stuff with your kids.
I'm way more active now, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, with my own things. I mean, I'm kind of dabbling into some political stuff right now, which that's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother topic
That's
these
a whole
days.
nother topic.
We may cover that in another episode.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, so they're, very active at church. And so there's a whole different, I guess I've traded kids' sports for my sports.
But how do you run a successful business? You're an entrepreneur, a wife, a mother, a community volunteer. How do you keep all of those things in check, and you're still doing a great business?
I thrive on multitasking.
Got it.
If I'm not busy, I will create busy. I can't that's why reading is so hard for me, because I can't sit still.
You're built to be in action.
Yes. Like if I sit down to read a book, I'll look up, because I'm squirrel. I'm very squirrel. And I'll be like, oh, that picture's crooked. And I'll get up and straighten a picture. And then I'll go by the dishes in the sink, and then I load the dishes. Right. And then I may or may not get back to reading my 10 minutes a day.
Right.
So,
but the key is you're comfortable in your own skin. You know who you are, and
yeah.
you've been able to leverage your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and I think that comes with, I'm gonna maybe age myself here, but like a little maturity.
It does.
I mean, the last 5 years for me, it's like you really learn what to get worked up about and what not to get worked up about, and what I used to get worked up about. It's nothing now.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, we have a number of real estate associates and mortgage professionals and others listening in. One, we need to know how they can get referrals to you. So tell them what markets you work.
So my team and I mean, we have 7 on the team right now. I hired my first assistant. My husband's my transaction coordinator. We live in Roanoke, so North Fort Worth. But I have 2 agents in Haslett. I have an agent in far west Fort Worth. I have one in far west like in Ponder, which is west of Denton.
Right.
So we're pretty much the Fort Worth side, but as agents, we go everywhere.
Right. So Fort Worth, where the West begins.
Where the West begins.
Right. There we go.
We got the Fort Worth side under control.
You got it all under control.
We got it under control.
Well, what would you share with the audience about discipline, structure, daily routines? I know you do a lot of, and culture. I mean, you've built an amazing culture within our culture. Mm-hmm. What are some things you'd share?
I mean, what I kind of had on my heart to share today was just more about getting back to basics and that's what I preach to my team all the time. I know they get tired of me saying it to them, but this market is so crazy as a buyer's agent and a listing agent, right? So I'm going to kind of start backwards here, but did you know that for all you listing agents out there that don't have a transaction coordinator and don't have an assistant, did you know about Showing Time's new offer manager? Do you know about that?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's amazing. They've just rolled it out the last couple weeks, and I had a phone call with them yesterday about, like if you're getting 25 offers in and it's just you, I don't believe in printing all those offers up. I'm sorry. I am not that agent. I'm not that paper. That makes me crazy.
We've been 100% paperless for 10 years.
I know, right? Like I see pictures of people printing up all these offers and, I'm going to go to my client's house. I mean, how overwhelming is that?
We don't have, for those listening in 28 offices, 20,000, we have one printer in the entire company.
Really?
One printer.
Well, that says it right there. Who prints stuff?
That's at the accounting office.
Well, ink's so stinking expensive.
That's right.
So stupid, but.
Yeah, one printer.
Yeah, so if you do not, it's $9 a listing. That's all they charge.
That's it.
And it offers a side-by-side branded PDF, sends out mass notifications. I mean, I don't use it I don't need it because Gordon does all of my side-by-sides. I just forward every offer to him, and he creates his own Excel spreadsheet that way. And a lot of agents do that, but this is a great service as a listing agent.
Well, if you think about it, one of our winning formulas, is listing, leads, and leverage.
Yeah.
Right? And so this is leverage.
This is leveraged as a listing agent.
And you need the leverage in today's market.
You have to. When you've got that many offers, how can you... And they do it for you. They do a beautiful side-by-side.
Awesome.
So it's awesome. Now, on the buyer side, I've got about 5 points here I want to go over.
Okay.
So for you buyer agents that are struggling, I get it. It's tough. Number one, you have to educate your buyers. Mm-hmm. Right? This is back to the basics. Like I said, that's all you get from me, back to the basics. Educate your buyers. Okay? Like I showed a first-time home buyer, he wants to buy a townhome. $150,000 townhome we looked at in Hearst.
Right.
It needs an overhaul. And I'm like, okay, Max, don't look at this $150,000 price here because we will not be offering that. You have to have that communication up front. So I've been talking to him for about 2 weeks now about how things are going 8 to 10% over list. So another thing, I spoke with Gordon before we came, and on your offerings, your offer prices, people are going 8 to 10% over comp.
Over comp,
okay. So you've got to still run comps, right? Because there's agents out there that are listing crazy amounts. Yeah. So you run your comps, 10% over comp. Now, if it's updated, the photos are beautiful, it's already got multiple offers, it's about 10 to 12% over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's straight from my transaction coordinator who writes all of our offers, not just my team. He works for several agents too. Another thing too, this shocks me that people do not do this, but if you're providing a full appraisal waiver, you have to give a proof of funds. Okay, so as a listing agent, that's the one thing I'm looking at. Okay, yay, you've given me this waiver and you're offered $30,000 over list, but I want to see proof that you've got the cash.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. So proof of funds, and I'm just trying to help y'all win an offer here.
Right.
Okay.
Because winning, like we had an associate, very experienced, 10 years in the business, a number of weeks ago, working with, I think, 8 different clients, wrote 30 offers, got none accepted, and they were like perfect offers.
Yeah.
with following many of these things. And so even then it can be tough.
I think the problem is that we get so stuck in our routine. This year, this market, this season, we have to think outside the box.
There is no, you've got to be.
There's no cookie cutter.
And there is no box.
There's no box.
Right? You got.
We're creating.
You got to create the box, right?
Yeah, even something as simple as changing the title company. You aggressive buyer's agents who because you're paying title. Do not change my title company.
Right.
I'm sorry,
But Kim, aren't some of the basics like, a professionally written offer, a cover letter that explains and summarizes?
Absolutely.
All of these, what appear to be little things, add up to a big thing and can be the difference in you winning.
And even something as simple, and I know this may be like, well, that's a given, Kim, but so used to, Gordon would write the offer up. He did this beautiful email of all the bullet points, what made our offer so great. But what we've started doing is he forwards that offer to us, the agent.
Right.
We take all the forward off, and then the offer comes from us, and we can add a little tidbit of information, personal stuff, so.
You know what I love about what you're doing is so many people just get into the routine and the rut, but you have to think through, how can I win?
Yeah.
What can I do to make the other side, make it easier, streamlined, make it feel like it's going to be great to work with us?
I am not in the business to write. I do not enjoy writing multiple offers. When I go to show a house,
you want to win.
My first thought is when I'm walking up, I'm like, oh, we are so writing an offer on this house.
Right.
And when I'm filling out that Google Doc with my client, because that's what we do, we fill out a Google Doc and it goes to Gordon, he writes the contract, or writes the offer. I'm thinking to myself, we're going to win this. Now, there are some things, I would have to kill you if I told you.
Okay.
But there are some things
secrets.
My team and I came up with from the buy side, some different advantages that are actually working that we're doing.
Good.
Thinking outside the box.
Right.
It's causing us to have to do some extra things.
Good.
Go back to the house and leave some things, and the buyers are offering some extra things. But you know what? That's working.
It's never crowded on the extra mile. When you take that extra step, you've moved ahead of the pack.
Yes.
And that's what the sellers and that's what everyone's looking for today.
Yeah. And on the side note of that, I have on here, try to connect with a listing agent. Now, I primarily do listings, so I kind of laugh at that because my phone rings nonstop with agents pleading and begging to pick them. What can I do to win this offer? And it's exhausting. And I want everybody to win. I hate that part, but there can only be one. And but you still have to do your part of, like I tell my team, don't be that nagging agent. Don't be that pleading agent, but be that agent that texts before, you work in e-offers. When you see the house, if you know you're putting in an offer, clients loved it, we'll be sending you a great offer.
Right.
And when you send it,
all the rapport building
offer
stuff.
sent.
Yeah.
Because that tells them that I like agents to be short and quick and to the point.
Right.
I don't want your sappy long stories.
Right. You want them to know that there's someone on the other end that they can work with. This is someone we can work with.
Quick response. Yeah. That's my biggest thing. Yeah. It's one of our core values, so it's important.
How are you seeing today, and then we'll wrap up, how are you seeing today the role of new home builds?
So last year, we did a lot of new home builds. Little nervous about some of the articles that I'm seeing about like big companies like D.R. Horton who are turning them into rentals. So that's very interesting. Right now, my people don't want to wait. Now, I will say...
Because they're going to have to wait, 6 months?
Yeah, and it's come down. So it was like 8 to 9 months, and now it's back down to 6 and 7.
But still 6 to 7 is a long time.
It's a long time. People aren't wanting to wait. There's a lot of buyers right now that have put off that they were like, gosh, I wanted to do this 2 years ago and I put it off during the pandemic and now we want to, and now they know they're paying more.
Right.
They don't want to wait. So they're willing to go ahead and start, putting in multiple offers. So that's kind of where that's what I'm seeing in my business.
Right.
Don't really have new builds on the horizon.
So not a big factor.
Not a big factor for me right now. Now, I think as it goes on, it will be.
Yeah, because for many, it's their only, it's where the inventory is.
Yeah.
Well, as we wrap up, last words of wisdom for the audience.
Oh, man.
Make your calls.
Yeah. Get back to basics, guys. Make your calls, stay in touch with your past clients, and do your client appreciations. We've
you
talked
do those
about that
several times a year, right?
I do. Yeah. And it's not, you have to put that money aside. Find an agent that you're like-minded with if you're not on a team, and, do
a little small group or something.
Yeah, something. Stay connected. I think that's the biggest thing.
There it is. Stay connected. It's easy to get in this business. It's easy to get isolated, right? Easy to get lost.
That is exactly why I have a team, because I was a solo agent for years and I do not like it.
Yeah. And it's coming up on tax time, so pay your taxes too.
Yes. Right? Hashtag better together, pay your taxes.
There we go.
I don't want to pay my taxes.
All right. Well, this was awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today.
I'm so glad I made the drive out. Now, hopefully I can make it back home, or I'll be spending the night here on the couch.
Particularly in this weather here, you can see it out the window that we're having ice storms and roads. So I appreciate you trekking out in this and
absolutely
spending some time with us.
I love coming and chatting with you anytime.
There we go. And it's episode 211, which happens to be your birthday.
Yeah, I just turned 52.
211 on 211. So we timed the episode perfectly.
Awesome.
All right, well, there we have it. Until we see you on another episode of Success Superstars, may your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears.